So in this video, we're going to talk about proper Panther Chameleon care so you can make it show its true colors.
You don't know me, but I know you. I want to play a game.
Panther chameleons are a beautiful species of arboreal lizard found on the northeastern section of Madagascar. They are normally found within denser sections of forest and jungle where the prey and the cover is abundant. The Panther chameleon can change drastically in color depending on where its ancestors was found. These are known as different locales. In captivity, the Panther chameleons are generally bred within their own locale groups to maintain the color patterns for that area. As with other chameleons, there's a stark contrast between male and females of the species. Males are generally very colorful with distinctive patterns running the length of their abdomen. They are generally taller and longer lived than females. The females have a less prominent crest, remain a salmon pink color for the majority of their lives, and are usually much smaller than the males. This chameleon is a brilliant hunter and can spot its prey from 10 meters away. They normally remain still on their branch with leaves in the backdrop to break up their shape. The eyes move individually looking to spot prey, then come together to provide depth perception while attempting to strike. Housing. Panther chameleons come from a warm environment, so it's important to try to keep proper temperatures and humidity. To insulate against this, I recommend keeping the chameleon in a wooden vivarium or a grow tent. Due to the temperature gradient required, I would normally select an enclosure of a minimum of 2 by 2 by 3 feet, and that's the width, the length, and the height. Ideally, the enclosure will include plenty of vents on both the front and back of the enclosure. All of this ventilation should ensure that heat is lost from one side of the enclosure while keeping the basking spot itself at a consistent temperature. Panther chameleons do not tend to be a shy species, so I will use this size enclosure for juveniles or adults. To make sure that there's not too much open space for a juvenile, I provide a lot of decorations and plants and slowly remove them as the chameleon grows. Heating. Naturally, Panther chameleons spend a long time basking in a jungle canopy. As such, they require warm basking areas of at least 90 degrees Fahrenheit during the day. I try to provide this heat over 1/3 of the enclosure while letting the rest of the enclosure cool down to about 70 degrees Fahrenheit on the opposite side. To achieve this, I use a grow light on one half of the enclosure. My light is not surrounded by a guard and is actually outside of the reach of the chameleon's grasp. It is controlled by a high temperature dimming thermostat to make sure that the temperature is always kept throughout the day. At night, all of the lights should be turned off, and the enclosure should be completely dark. This should make sure that the chameleon has a clear day and night cycle. Now let's talk about UVB lighting. Panther chameleons are a basking species by nature, but do get partial cover from the canopy and plants, so they do need a semi-intense UVB source. I recommend a 6% UVB tube running at least 2/3 of the length of the enclosure. In some cases, I might want to increase the strength of the lamp depending on how tall the enclosure is. However, in a normal 3-foot tall vivarium, 6% should be suitable. UVB tubes are currently available in 2 sizes, T8 and T5. T8 lamps are about 1 inch in diameter, and they've actually been replaced by the T5 lamps, which are a newer iteration. The T5 lamps, well, they're about 1/2 inch in diameter, and they last about 12 months and have an effective range of 18 to 24 inches. An important thing to note when using a UVB bulb is that a good amount of light is going to be limited by the actual enclosure. In a grow tent / enclosure like mine, where the UVB bulb is not limited, it is important to note that there is no restrictions, so you're going to have to adjust your UVB bulb's position so that it is not beaming your chameleon. So that brings us to layering and decorations. Panther chameleons thrive in a mid to high humidity environment with absorbent decorations. As discussed when we were talking about lighting, there will be times when the chameleon does not want any UV and needs a little bit of shade. To ensure that the chameleon can get away from the light source, whenever necessary, provide full and partial cover throughout the enclosure. These are the main things outside of your chameleon's body that will allow it to show its true colors. But now let's talk about diet and water. In the wild, the chameleons can eat vegetation, but they normally only do this for hydration. The bulk of their diet will be small and easy to digest insects. For this species, I recommend dubia roaches and brown crickets. They are very nutritious, fairly easy for the chameleons to hunt, widely available, and they're a great value for money. Every now and again, you might want to provide your chameleon with a treat. For this purpose, I would feed silkworms and hornworms. Once in the morning and once in the afternoon, I spray the entire enclosure with room temperature water. While spraying the enclosure, I aim to saturate the absorbent decorations, and aside from feeding your chameleon insects and providing them water, we also have to give them supplements. Panther chameleons will get most of what they need from their diet, but there are some vitamins and minerals that they require higher concentrations of, in the form of calcium and vitamin powders, which are dusted onto the live food when it's exposed to the UVB. Vitamin D3 is produced by reptiles when they are exposed to UVB, vitamin, or vitamin-only supplements. Use calcium in their diet. If you are sure that the UVB levels in your enclosure are perfect, you can supplement without D3. If you're not sure, it's best to supplement with some D3. Providing the right UVB lighting for your chameleon and then providing good supplements, good vitamins, and a nutritious diet will allow them to show their true color. If you like videos like this one, please like and subscribe, and I'll be putting more Panther Chameleon videos like this one out. Until next time, my name is Rice, and
You don't know me, but I know you.